So that leads us to our next question. Where does a guy start? Years ago, when we all were just starting to learn with this, there just wasn't that much material out there. There were some books, maybe one or two gurus putting out products. There wasn't the variety that exists now. A newbie comes into this now, is inundated with dozens of names. We even have entire 3-day conventions filled with gurus, and even when half of them don't show up, there's still enough people to fill up the time. Where does a guy start?
I think he should start with the material, first of all, that's closest to his personality, his actual, inclinations, the way he is, not trying to reach too far outside himself, not trying to aspire to be any one of these people in particularly. And I definitely think this is what I consider one of the best places in terms of an information buffet. I'm a total information junkie, and the first thing I did when I realized there was more information to be had was I just soaked in it. I get everything I possibly could, but at a certain point you got to cut it off and just say, you know what, enough's enough. I just got to take what I've got and act on it, because that's really what's going to make the difference right there. So for them to start, I would definitely recommend with any of the programs that we're familiar with in the industry. My own, of course, I've got ebooks, audio. There's, of course, David DeAngelo's products, which are also very good stepping off points to other instructors. Sample it all. Take a good, healthy sampling of all of it, and then determine where you're going to go with it, and then just get going, get active. Stop, sitting at home reading, because you can get very addicted to that process and not out there actually doing something about it.
You talk about addiction, and I haven't touched on this subject yet, so since you brought it up, let's go with it. I find that a lot of guys, when they get into this study of seduction, get so wrapped up in learning the next thing that they aren't even bothering putting any of this into action, to the point where it becomes an obsession,
yep.
Some sort of an addiction. They have to take the next seminar. They have to buy the latest product. They have to go out there and just learn more stuff.
Yep.
But they're not getting more sex. They're not even getting themselves an occasional girlfriend. What would you say to a guy who's taken this to the point of an addiction?
Well, there's a reason for it, right? We got to identify what the problem is, and the problem is that they're identifying their own learning process as action, as moving forward, when in fact what they're really doing is reaching a point of diminished returns, and they're not getting any better. The first couple of bits of information they get are all valuable and great, and they awaken you and they make you more aware. But it's when you've gotten to this point, you just got to cut yourself off. You got to take the stuff, put it aside, determine what it is you're going to act on, and then, again, get down to the brass tacks. Set out your battle plan. What are you actually going to do? Because really learning, in a lot of cases, in this information addiction that we've become really used to, I think, in today's culture, is it's an excuse not to act. That's all it really is. And the more you can stay in that mode of learning, it's like you're in college. You don't have to worry. You can go out and party all the time. You don't have to make a living. It's the same mentality. Just get down to it, start using the information, and get busy.
What are the chances that we're going to see you up in Canada?
I was up there for Cliff's List this past year, and I want to get back up there again real soon. I know there's more opportunities that way. Plus, my family's up there. It's only a hop across the pond.
You have family up here? What city?
Actually, not in Canada. I have a family over in Rochester, and we drive over to Niagara Falls, up to Toronto all the time.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm based here in Toronto, so the next time you're up in town, we'll definitely have to get together. We could talk about radio.
That'd be awesome.
All right. Are we ready to take a next commercial break? Yes, we are. I'm getting the signal. You're listening to Frank Talks Pleasures and Lifestyles, and we'll be back.
From Loser to Seducer is the story of Frank B. Kerman. This book marks the triumph of a nice guy over most of his inner demons. This includes going from being a loser to managing 5 lovers at the same time, his first Valentine's date with 2 women at the same time, and getting back the one that got away. Want to learn how you can change your life? Buy this book at franktalks.com.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by the Adult Male Virgin Seminar and Telephone Consultations. Guys, if the only breast you ever touched was in a bucket of chicken, you need the Adult Male Virgin Seminar. If the only thing you've licked recently has been your fingers to turn the pages of a book, you need the Adult Male Virgin Seminar. If the only female body part you are familiar with wears a cape, can fly, or has superpowers, you need the Adult Male Virgin Seminar. If you think the G-Spot is the name of a new club, you need the Adult Male Virgin Seminar. If the words missionary conjures up images of guys in long robes, you need the Adult Male Virgin Seminar. If the only sensation your fingers have had are pressing the buttons on your remote control, then you need the Adult Male Virgin Seminar. Do you know what it means when a woman asks you up to her place for coffee? If you think that she is thirsty for caffeine, then you definitely need the Adult Male Virgin Seminar. Only available at franktalks.com. Frank helps adult boys become men.
Honest, frank approaches, trusted professional conduct, timely taboo topics, and the most eclectic ensemble of interview guests ever produced. Listen in to Frank Talks to learn about the different sides of the human spirit. Be sure to visit our website at www.franktalks.com for the most up-to-date information and the latest downloads of programs just like the one you're listening to now.
You're listening to Frank Talks Pleasures and Lifestyles. I'm Frank because I have to be. In studio with Carlos Xuma. Carlos, you there?
I am here.
All right. Show's almost over. This time for the guest to put in a product plug. Carlos, what are some products that are coming out that we all should know about?
Well, the first thing I tell guys to do is get to datingdynamics.com, get on my newsletter, and so you'll get into the information cycle. I publish a regular newsletter with advice. You'll get the podcast, you'll get the blog listing. That's where you start, and then I'll send you information on how to connect to the rest of it. As far as products, I started out with the Dating Black book many years back, and that's since become pretty much a staple out there for a lot of guys. That's the best starting off point. From there, most guys have had the success and the real understanding of what it is I'm teaching from the Secrets of the Alpha Man program. That's a CD and ebook program that really puts you on that path of self-development, as well as understanding how men really need to present themselves to women. So it does have techniques, it does have strategies and tactics for you to use. And then from there, I always recommend the guys I actually videotaped a seminar of mine in 2006 and the Alpha Immersion program. So there's a whole DVD program based around that, which gives much more in-depth and concentrated information for the would-be and developing alpha man. I've also got an approach program for guys that want to learn how to approach women more effectively. We've got the advanced coaching that I talked about. And then on the horizon, I've got an alpha conversation program. I'm in the studio right now recording this that will give them just about everything you can possibly want to know on just talking to anybody, not just women, talking to authority, talking to your family, how to converse and communicate effectively. And it's going to be a killer set. It's going to be very, very big because there's an awful lot to talk about, and especially when I get talking. And then watch out. There's going to be a Vegas seminar coming up, I believe, after the first quarter of this year that guys can get in, get some real ground-level experience, and become a part of what we're teaching here, this whole new lifestyle.
Fantastic. Okay, our last question of the night. I give a seminar for adult male virgins, guys in their 20s, 30s, and even 40s who have never even gone out on a date. What's your first initial reaction to hearing about the existence of adult male virgins?
You know, I wish I could say this is the first time, but unfortunately it's not. I was just up in Tahoe, and I met one of these guys, and I got to, understand by talking to them firsthand what it is that's going through their heads and where they are in their belief systems. And that's really where it is. It's a very complicated belief system they've put into their heads that has left them in this, and I don't want to say condition, but I guess that's the only way to call it. Really, there's a lot of internal work that's going to have to be done there, but again, it's not impossible. It's something that's just got to be worked on. And it starts with what their beliefs are about themselves, what their self-defeating habits are, because I see a lot of that. These guys are creating roadblocks for themselves in their own lifestyle. They create excuses to not go out. They immerse themselves in a nerdy, junky lifestyle where they're playing games and being very internally focused. They've just got to get motivated to break out of that mold, and it does take some internal work. Not something we can handle on today's call, but something that they can do.
Carlos, it's been absolutely great having you here on Frank Talks Pleasures and Lifestyles. We definitely invite you to come back again sometime in the future.
Absolutely.
It's been great. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Frank.
Be sure to visit our website at franktalks.com. Goodbye.